I'm here at Sim Gaming Expo 2025 and I'm with the CEO of Simucube, Hannu Harju. Hannu, how are you doing?
Excellent, nice to meet you.
Take me through the design of the Simucube co-pedal. It's a little bit different.
It is, yeah. Yeah, it's quite cool actually. So, actually what we were trying to do is that when we had the active pedal, and it's not the cheapest pedal you can find, it's probably actually the most expensive pedal you can find. So, we already had the throttle, the passive throttle that goes with it nicely, so you can only have the active brake if you want, but we didn't have the clutch. So we started to design a clutch. And then we realized that actually we can make a better throttle with the same technology. And then we realized we can even make it the same product. So that's what we did. So the co-pedal comes as a default, it's set as a throttle. It has a linear curve basically. But then it also has this arc piece that we call that transforms it into a clutch. And also you can change the spring as well. Someone on a booth did it all under 90 seconds, we clocked it.
Nice. In your opinion, are there any compromises in making it a hybrid design, or is it just all benefits?
It actually doesn't have any. I mean, as a throttle, it's a little bit better than the throttle we already have, so it will replace that eventually. So yeah, I mean, it's a new technology. We have already patent pending for that technology, and we feel that it's like no brainer really. There's not really drawbacks when combining those. I mean, we could have just as easily made them two separate products, but we thought that it also gives you the option that if you have an active pedal, then you buy a throttle, and then you want an active throttle, then you can just convert that passive throttle to a passive clutch, or other way around, however you prefer, but you still have that option.
Very clever, and I'll bet it makes inventory management easier too.
Well, that's true.
All right, tell me, why was this designed to work only with the active pedal? Is there a mechanical or software reason for that, or was it just because we want you to buy an active pedal?
I think it's more like if you think like electronics, that co-pedal doesn't really have any electronics inside, so it connects to the active pedal where all the electronics is. So if we wanted to make a standalone product, it would be more expensive, and yeah, we don't have a passive brake, so for us that wouldn't kind of make sense. So we know that active technology is so much better for brake, and well, other pedals as well, but especially for the brake. So that's why we don't have a passive brake. So yeah.
I think I might know the answer to this question, but I want to ask, do you see the Simucube throttle staying in the lineup now that we have the Simucube co-pedal being both a throttle and a clutch? And if not, how long until it's phased out?
I think we will probably replace the throttle with the co-pedal, because it's just, as a throttle it's a little bit better, and we don't really see the need for the original throttle anymore. So we'll probably phase that out. I would say quite soon, I think.
Okay. I want to bring the mood down a little bit.
Oh.
Tariffs.
Yeah.
They have been a big thing in the US. We're here in the US right now. So I'm curious, especially as you guys are from Finland, how have US tariffs affected you guys for the US market?
Well, yeah, it is what it is, but I think we were able to stock up quite well before the tariffs came, so we have quite a big inventory. But at some point we will run out, and at that point we will need to increase it with the tariffs. So yeah, that's cannot influence that. So hopefully it will change, but it's what it is.
Now, based on the exchange rates that I was looking at from current right now, it looks like the direct translation of exchange rates from euro to dollar, based on the European pricing. If you translate the European pricing to US pricing, it comes in a little bit under what the US pricing is currently set at. Is that baked in with tariffs in mind, or is that just a matter of the logistics existing already to get products to the United States?
Well, yeah, I mean that's a little bit complicated, because it also we cannot just change the pricing whenever we want, because we also have resellers and stuff. So there's a lot we need to kind of consider when changing the pricing. So it might be that it's not always one-to-one, and so yeah, there's some fluctuation naturally, but yeah, so far we haven't increased the tariffs or included the tariffs in the price because we had the inventory, but we will at some point if the situation continues, and we obviously hope that it will.
Gotcha. Do you think that the way that y'all's supply chain works, do you think that that will also impact the Canadian and Mexican markets, or will that just be limited to the U.S.? Do you guys import products to like a U.S. warehouse or anything like that that might affect things, or?
Yeah, we have 2 warehouses in the US, so we need to import stuff here. We manufacture in Europe, so it doesn't really affect Canadian or Mexican market or South America. So
We're getting away a little bit from the co-pedal.
Sure.
I want to talk about one of the older products that you guys had. So you've got the Simucube 2 lineup. There's the Sport, the Pro. I heard recently that you discontinued the Ultimate. What was the reason for discontinuing that?
yeah, there are a couple of different reasons, but I think that the major one's probably that the Pro and there wasn't that big a difference between the Pro and the Ultimate, like compared to the price, because the Ultimate, we created the Ultimate so that there are like zero compromises in the hardware, and we try to like find the best possible components in the world to make that. And the motor is super expensive, but there is a difference between them. The Ultimate is or was, I guess, a little bit like better, but still the price and it's like the value maybe just wasn't there. So I mean that's the main reason.
How do you think that sim racing has changed since the founding of Simucube?
Oh man, so much. The company behind Simucube is called Granite Devices. So we are an industrial company by heart, and we create like industrial stuff and all kinds of everything that has an electric motor we are interested in basically. So we have created an electric motor control for an electric airplane, that like an actual ultralight airplane that some crazy pilot actually flew, and a lot of different projects. So when we started the Simucube project and with the open servo wheel back in the day, there really wasn't like direct drive market for wheelbases, for example, and everything was very like you needed to be an engineer to make it work, and you needed to like study a lot the sim racing and all the firmware and make sure it's safe and that kind of stuff. So from that point to here, it's a massive change. And yeah, like product wise, I think like in general you can see that sim racing has evolved like from a DIY business to an actual like real business now. And you can see that there's a lot of new manufacturers and they have new products and yeah, I mean it's great. But I think there's still a lot of things that we can improve too. So I'm like we have quite good ideas how we can push sim racing still forward, how we need to kind of make sim racing more easier to the customer. Because right now, if you create like a simulator and you want to have like from different manufacturers, you don't know what hardware works together easily. Quick releases are not standardized. The software is pain in the butt because you need like every manufacturer has their own software, and you need to there's third-party software if you need to configure like a screen on a wheel or something, and that's not the most easiest to use and stuff like that. So there's a lot of like barriers of entry kind of to sim racing, especially in the high end. So that's where we're gonna focus next.
That does kind of bring me into my final question, and that is, where do you see Simucube going in the future? We heard a little bit of that in the press conference, but for the people, I'm kind of curious. Where do you see Simucube going in the future?
Yeah, I think what we want to do, we want to be the innovators. We want to push sim racing forward. And if we, cannot find any more ways to innovate in sim racing, then we'll just start doing something else. I mean, because it's so in our DNA that we want to push everything like forward and create new things, and it excites us. And that's the reason why we do this. And so yeah, we will continue to innovate. We will create new products, new technologies, fix some of the underlying issues that sim racing has, like technology-wise, and that all will translate to better customer experience in the end. So
thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for visiting.
All right, that has been Simucube, and enjoy all the rest of our coverage here from Sim Gaming Expo 2025, the inaugural Sim Gaming Expo. See you in the next one.